Hello everyone. Well, we're going to be looking at bar charts in the next few weeks. Lessons, I should say. Bar graphs, we can call them, or bar charts. And in particular, we're going to be looking at bar charts when some of the numbers are missing. So let's just very quickly revise what we've been talking about. So what we're talking about, well, so here we have a bar graph, and obviously we see that it's got 4 bars. So here's the red bar for the cherries, the yellow bar for the bananas, the green bar for the apples. Okay, and we must read the title before we do anything else. This bar chart is about the favourite fruit of children in year 3, and the height of a bar matches with a number on the scale beside it. And I have noticed, looking at our line graph work, that some of us are not using a ruler. We're not going horizontally straight across. So let's take the green bar here. Okay, that's the apples. We go up to the top of the apples, then we've got to go straight across. And we see on the scale that we get to 10. Okay. How many children said each fruit? So I'm going to write 10 children. 10 children for the apples. Okay, I'm going to look for starting now with the red. So look at the top of the red bar for the cherries. Okay, 5 for the cherries. Oh, what about the bananas? Now, when I go to the top here, I go straight across. And it's not 15, is it? It's 15 is this mark here. That actual data point marked with the small line. That's 15. That's 10. So it's a number between 10 and 15. How many between 10 and 15? Well, between 10 and 15, there's 5, isn't there? When we 10 add 5 is 15, or 15 take away 5 is 10. So there's 10 in each increment or interval. So if we imagine 5, it's 5. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right. 14. When it's between numbers, we've got to work out how big the increment is and then think approximately where is each of those marks. Okay, and for the grapes, well, I can read across there, 20 children said grapes. So, don't forget, on bar charts or bar graphs, the bars could also be horizontal. That maths word meaning going straight across. And when it is, we just do exactly the same thing. We find where the end of the bar is, and we then go down, or perhaps sometimes the scale will be along the top, and we see, right, how many children said pink was their favourite colour? 6. We read straight down. What about yellow? Well, we read down, it's between 8 and 10. Well, between 8 and 10 is 2, so 8, 9, 10. So 9 children said yellow. Okay, but what about, let's just take a moment to look at the scale. The scale on a graph is this part here. So it starts normally at 0, and then it's going up, isn't it? And you'll see each of these data markers or data points is really very important to look at. And that little line is something that children often ignore, that line going across, because it's that little line corresponds to the number. That's 0. That little line there, that shows where 5 is. That line there exactly shows where 10 is. And that scale going up the side is the number line, and each of the jumps is going up in the same amount. So how many is it going up in each time? Well, from 0 to 5 is 5. 5 to 10 is another 5. And that's how it works. On this number line, the scale is always going up, if we're counting up, or down, if we're going down, by the same amount each time. And each of those jumps, we're good to know these words in maths, is called an interval or an increment. So here there are 4 jumps, aren't there? 1, 2, 3, 4. How much does the scale go up by each time? It goes up, or in fact down as well, if we're counting down, by 5. We can see it's the 5 times table. Very important. Always going up and down by the same amount. Ooh. So we've got to use that information. Always on the scale, it's jumping up each increment. Each interval is the same amount. So pause the video. Can you see how much it's going up by? What are the missing numbers? I hope you did pause the video. Right, so look, from 0 to 20, oh, we added on 20. Let's check that. From 20 to 40, okay. Well, we're counting up in 20s. Each interval, or each increment, each increase is 20. So 20, 40, add another 20. We're counting in our 20s, just like our 2s, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And now, let's look at the red bar, because that's our next question. Can you work out how much the red bar is worth? It's between 40 here and 60 here. It's halfway between 40 and 60. Well, between 40 and 60 is 20. Half of 20 is 10. So it's 40. We're going to be adding 10 halfway between 40 and 60, 50. So the red bar is worth 50. Okay, here's another one for you to have a go at. Pause the video. What are the missing numbers on the scale? Okay, now, did you see, I didn't give you 2 now, because we don't really need 2. If we can see what the increment is from 1, here, the start, 0 to 50, all of the increments, all of the intervals are the same. So it's 0, add 50, we're going up in 50s. So we're counting in 50s, it's 100, and another 50, 150, and another 50, 200, and another 50, 250. If we look and see how much the purple bar is, well, we go across the purple bar, halfway between 100 and 150. Well, remember, it's a jump of 50 altogether. Half of 50 is 25. So we'd do 100, add 25, it's 125, and it's 125. But the important thing that we need to do here is work out the interval each time. Each interval is 50. What do you think here? Now just look, what slightly more different scale or number line? From 0 to 8, 0, add 8. There are 8 between 0 and 8. Okay, it's going up in the 8s. Let's check it. 16, yes, another 8. So we must be counting up in our 8 times table. That's right. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. So each interval is 8. And here the red bar is, well, a little bit less. Let's go across. Let's try and go straight across. Okay, halfway. Remember, the jump is 8 altogether. Half of 8, because it's halfway between 24 and 32, we do 24 plus half of 8, which is 4. Okay, that must be 24 add 4 is 28. So probably the red bar is worth 28. Okay, now that's level 1. Let's have a look at level 2. Almost the same thing, but it's different because now what have we got? Well, I can see on my scale, my number line, I've got 40 and 32. So I don't know 0 add how many here. I can still work out the interval because there's one jump between 32 and 40. 32 add how many is 40, add 8. Or I could have done 40, how many, take away how many gets to 32. So look, each interval is 8. So now I'm going to be counting not up in jumps of the same number, but down in jumps of the same number. So 40, 32, 8 less, 24, 16, 8, and 0. So this is how we do it. Oh look, we've got another one here. We've got numbers missing. We need to work out what one interval or one increment is worth. Well, between 18 and 24, we can say that there is 6. With really saying 18 add how many makes 24, or we can say 24 take away how many makes 18, and the answer is 6 times. So that must mean that each time going up we're counting on 6, 24, okay, so 6, and going down we're taking away 6, 12, 6, each interval is worth 6. What are the missing numbers here? I remember that in the autumn term we were looking at counting in our... Do you remember what we were counting? We were practicing something in year 4, counting in 25s, that's right. 50 to 75. 50 add how many makes 75, or 75 take away how many is 50. 75 take away 50 is 25. Each interval is 25. You can count up in 25s. You remember? In 75, 100, 125. The 25 times table, if you like. Sometimes, though, we might have a trickier job, and this is our level 3 question. So let's look at the scale here. Well, it starts with 0 at the bottom, and that 0 is here. 20 is up here. But I don't know what one jump is worth. I don't know. I've got to work out here what... Let's first of all think, how many equal intervals, increments or jumps are there between the 0 and the 20? Well, I'm going to count them. 1 jump, 1 interval, 2, 3, 4. So I know that between 0 and 20 there are 4 intervals or 4 increments. So I can think that the whole gap is 20. So the whole amount, if we thought it was just 1 jump, it would be one jump of 20, but it isn't one jump because that whole distance, that whole 20, is split into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So the whole 20 is divided, I could say into 4 parts. So it's 20 divided by 4. 20 divided by 4 equals 5. Each interval is 5. Let's see, does that work? Yes, it does. Because if we put our numbers in, 5, 10, 15, 20, we count up in 5s. We divided the whole amount that we knew into the number of equal parts. Let's see. Oh, I think I might have put the same one in. Right, okay. Oh, this one is interesting. The favourite books of children in Year 3 and Year 4. Well, what can I see? Favourite books of children in Year 3 and Year 4. Well, let's look at the scale. Look carefully. 0 is here at the bottom. 80 is here. Okay. If it were one big jump, it would be 80. So we'll say the whole amount that we know, the whole 80, it's not just one jump, is it? It's split into equal parts. Equal intervals. How many intervals? Well, let's say each of them the same. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4 equal jumps. 4 equal parts. So the whole 80 is split into 4 equal parts. So the whole 80 is split into 4 equal parts. So it's dividing, we're splitting our whole amount into equal parts. 80 divided, split into 4 equal parts. Well, 80 divided by 4, 80 means 8 tens. We can use 8 divided by 4 is 2. 8 ones divided by 4 is 2 ones. 8 tens divided by 4 is 20. So each interval is 20. So that should mean if we count up in 20s, we'll get to 80 in the right place. Let's check it. 0, 20, 40, 60. We're counting up in 20s and we get to 80. 20, 40, 60, 80. That's good. Okay, here's another scale. So if it were all one jump, it would be 100. The whole 100. It's not one jump though, it's split into equal intervals. 1, let's count up, how many? 2, 3, 4, 5. The whole 100 is split into 5 equal parts, so it's 100 divided by 5. Okay, is 20. It's really just like doing 10 divided by 5 equals 2. So each interval is 20. We've worked out that each interval is 20. Let's check it by writing on the scale, and if we count up in 20s and get to 100 in the right place, then we've gone right. 20, 40, 60, 80. Counting in 20s, the next one is 100. So, phew, that was good. Okay, last one. So remember, how many is it from 0 to 100 altogether. Well, that's 100, the whole 100. How many intervals? How many increments? 1, 2, 3, 4. The whole 100 is split into 4 equal parts. What number times 4 makes 100? This is an important one for our future maths. It's 25, isn't it? We did learn our counting in 25, so 100 split into 4 parts is 25. Each interval counts for 25. So let's try counting in 25s. 25, 50, 75, 100. Okay, so I hope you have the idea that we've got to divide the whole amount by the number of intervals, and we will find what each interval or each increment is worth. So here's your work. We've got some scales where we're counting up, and you can see the increment more easily. In level 2, we've got some questions where we're going up and down in terms of the same number, and then level 3, we've got to use our division skills. Okay, good luck everybody, enjoy your maths, see you soon.